Good evening, everyone. On behalf of Red Deer College and MSM, I would like to welcome everyone to the MSM Live Agent eSummit Series for 2020. I'm Karishma Chaudhary, Manager Canada at Amsquare Media. What makes this summit extra special is it marks the official launch of Red Deer College as a MSM partner institution. Yes, that means RDC, which is now on its way to university status, is actively welcoming more international students to its campus in Alberta, Canada. And we are very happy to bring this launch session at your doorsteps. Although we wanted to do it in our traditional way with more personal interaction and gathering, but as the saying goes, when it's raining, look for rainbows. When it's dark, look for stars. We decided to use a different platform to get connected with you all for this launch event. We are extremely excited to announce that RDC has inked a partnership with MSM to establish its in-country presence and support its outreach and recruitment of international students in your country. Well, before we get to the exciting part, please check for the instructions about the control panel, which we are going to share in your chat box. I know everyone is curious and interested to learn more about RDC, its program offerings, its state-of-art facilities on campus, and yes, its welcoming local community. So without further ado, I would like to introduce Ms. Shelby Pomeranz, Director of International Education at RDC. Shelby, over to you.
Thank you, Karishma. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today on this eSummit between M-Square Media and Red Deer College. As Karishma mentioned, we would have ideally loved to be able to see all of you and be there together in person, but of course, with the current circumstances, it's not possible. However, despite the challenges that have been presented to us from COVID, we're extremely happy to be launching with MSM in their markets and to be connecting today with the MSM Agent Network. I am very excited to tell you more about Red Deer College, or as you'll hear us refer to it, RDC. Throughout the presentation today, I'll tell you about the college, RDC, which is located in Alberta, Canada. I'll also tell you a little bit about our city, Red Deer. And of course, we'll talk about programs specifically. And finally, before we get to the program, the question section of the program, we will discuss COVID-19 and the ways that we are helping our students pursue their post-secondary educational dreams, even throughout COVID. So without further ado, I'm going to start off by sharing with you all a video that we have created specifically for this eSummit. It's going to introduce you to Red Deer College and also to our president, Dr. Peter Nunoda.
I'm Dr. Peter Nunoda. I'm the president of Red Deer College. I think the reason why we are now embarking so seriously into international education is that I believe that diversity is part of the richness of the post-secondary experience.
My name is Shelby Pomeranz. I'm the Director of International Education at Red Deer College. International students will find a home here at RDC, so they will benefit from our programs being very employment focused. We have expert instructors who care about the students. We are very proud to offer programs that are linked to employment. So when our students are graduating, they have a very high likelihood of gaining employment. In fact, recent data shows that over 90% of our graduates are finding employment within 6 months of graduating. RDC's international students will also benefit from our amazing state-of-the-art facilities. We have everything from amazing classrooms to futuristic labs that have the latest technology.
We are very much invested in technology programs and technology in the classroom and outside of the classroom in those common spaces where students now often gather. We have a library that is the envy of the post-secondary system, I'd say, in Alberta.
Dr. Nunoda and I would like to thank every agent that has made the effort to attend our virtual e-summit for agents. We are sorry that we aren't able to be there in person during these uncertain times, but we are committed to the relationship with MSM, and we are looking towards a future where we can continue to recruit international students actively.
Once the coronavirus crisis has passed, I'm very much looking forward to meeting all of the great agents that I know that MSM has on the ground there, and working in a face-to-face and more personal way than we've been able to do lately. So, thank you.
Okay, so now that you've had an opportunity to see a little bit of RDC, see our campus and our students, everything that you've seen in the video I just showed you is our actual students and our actual instructors on our campus. So you can see we have some great facilities. Just to tell you a little bit more about Red Deer College, we are a public institution. We have approximately 7,500 students, and that includes full-time and part-time students. Out of those students, we have approximately 200 international students. And as Karishma mentioned during the opening remarks, we are very excited to grow the number of international students that we have on campus and welcome students and learners from all across the world to come and study with us at Red Deer College. In terms of our programs, we have everything from certificates, diplomas. We also have 4-year applied degrees and university transfer programs and university collaboration programs. So we have a wide range of programs for students to choose from. All of our programs are focused on employment. So when we are designing a program, we do so with the intent that our graduates will be able to find employment. Recent data shows that over 90% of our graduates are finding employment within 6 months of graduation, which is fantastic. Also, when we survey our former RDC students after they've completed their education, close to 100% of them are very satisfied with the educational experience that they've had at Red Deer College. You'll see the number highlighted up there on the screen, 96%. So we're very proud of the student experience that we give our students. We focus on employability, hands-on support, and providing all learners, whether they be domestic or international, with a fantastic experience. Just to highlight the 2 campuses that RDC has, we have a main campus, which you'll see highlighted in the top photo. This is located on 290 acres of beautiful landscape. Almost everything you see in the greater part of the photo includes our campus. So we have a lot of space available to us, which is fantastic. The bulk of our programs are offered through main campus. On the lower half of the screen, you'll see the downtown campus, which you'll also hear us refer to as the Donald School of Business, or the DSB. So this is located approximately 8 minutes away from main campus. So they're both located in the same city, in the city of Red Deer, Alberta. And the students who are attending business programs go to the downtown campus. This is just one more example of the way that we make an over-the-top effort to connect our students with industry. So by putting our business school in the business core of the community, it's just one more way we're trying to make sure that the students are immersed in the fields that they're learning about. So both campuses are a part of Red Deer College. Students are able to commute from one another using public transit, so it's no problem. They're both in the same city, so students are able to easily get between both campuses. Just to focus a little bit on the aspects of RDC that our international students particularly love. Our students benefit from small class sizes. So most of our classes have less than 40 students. And what that allows is for instructors to give students a little bit more one-on-one attention, and for the students to be able to connect with one another on a peer-to-peer level more actively. So in our classes, there's a lot of group work, a lot of opportunity to actively learn opposed to just sitting and listening to lectures. We have a focus on hands-on learning. And in fact, many of our programs have a practicum component, or what some other institutions may call an internship. So it's very important for us to allow students to work in the field that they're learning about. So in many of the programs, including our ELCC program and our business program, students are actually going to be working with employers as a part of their program. So by the time they graduate, they will not only have the RDC credential, they will also have some Canadian work experience, which can be invaluable to help them along their journey in the next steps of potentially pursuing a postgraduate work permit or gaining employment in Canada. We also focus on employability of graduates. So when we're developing programs, we do so always keeping in mind what jobs are available for students in Alberta and across Canada. And also we have modern and high quality facilities. So I have a few more videos that I'll be sharing with you today throughout the presentation. And you can see from my initial video, our facilities are state of the art. We have amazing learning facilities, including classrooms, labs. We have great library spaces and study spaces for students to congregate together. On our campus, we also offer several food services for students. There's restaurants, there's ability to purchase what they need, a lot of what they need right there on campus. Another reason why international students love RDC is all of the student services that we offer to them, and that includes counseling. We have personal counseling, and also we provide some high-level general career counseling, academic support, which is tutoring. So through our library, students are able to access certain tutoring services free of charge. That could be peer-to-peer tutoring when they're learning from other students who have recently been successful in the courses that they have been through. We also have English language tutors to help students if they are struggling a little bit with language. We also have math tutors, English tutors, etc. Also, we have fantastic library services. So if the students need help with their citation, or if they need to borrow resources, such as they need to borrow a computer for a day, or they need to take out a book, we have great options available for them. And we also have a very personalized new international student orientation that we host specifically for our international students. One other thing that I wanted to highlight for you all today is the benefit that the students will receive when coming to Red Deer is a little bit of a lower cost of living compared to some of the larger cities in Canada. So when I show you this slide, what I'm highlighting is the cost of accommodations in a few cities across Canada. So what I'm highlighting is the cost for a rental in Vancouver, Red Deer, and Toronto. And what you'll see by looking at the numbers on the screen is that Red Deer is significantly less expensive for rentals compared to some of those other larger cities. So when we look at the data, if you look at the cost for rent, going to the supermarket, going out to restaurants, utilities, everything all together, Vancouver is approximately 36% more expensive to live on a month-to-month basis compared to Red Deer, and Toronto is 44% more expensive to live in compared to Red Deer. So there are definitely benefits to studying in a smaller city in Canada, and lower cost of living is one of them that students might want to consider when they're choosing where to study. I wanted to take a moment to highlight some of our student housing options. So we are very happy to be able to offer students options to live in residence. So basically live right on campus at Red Deer College. We have several options available. So the students are able to choose whether they would like to live on their own in a suite, or if they would like to share costs with some other students and rent a room in a house. So it allows students to have flexibility based on their personal preferences and on their budget. So for students to live in RDC residence, it's approximately $2,100 per term up to $3,100 per term, depending on the type of suite that the student selects. So it's important to note that if students are interested in living in RDC residence, they need to indicate this on their initial student application. So it is up to the student to arrange for their own housing, but they are able to apply to live in RDC residence, and we encourage them to do so. Also, of course, we recognize that some students will choose to live in the broader Red Deer community. And just to give a sense of the costs associated with this, rent for a shared apartment, if they would like to live with one or two other individuals, could be anywhere between $400 to $800 a month. And if they wanted to live on their own, they would likely be able to find a rental for somewhere in the $1,100 range per month. We are currently working on setting up a homestay program for our international students. It's not quite ready to launch yet, but we will be sharing details with our MSM agent network just as soon as homestay comes online. We know that that will be a great option for some students. Okay, I'm going to switch gears a little bit. So we've talked about Red Deer College, and I've introduced you to RDC and a little bit about our institution. And now I'd like to tell you a little bit about the city of Red Deer. So just to clarify, we're located in the Canadian province of Alberta, and we're centrally located between the two largest cities in the province, which is Edmonton and Calgary. So both Edmonton and Calgary have an international airport, so that's great. It adds some flexibility so our international students are able to choose which airport they would like to fly into. And if you're driving, it takes about an hour and 20 minutes to get from Edmonton to Red Deer or to get from Calgary to Red Deer. So we're located right in between the two cities. So it's a great way for the students to be able to enjoy a little bit of a smaller city, but also have very easy access to two of the largest cities in the province. If there's any amenities that we don't have within the city, it's only a couple hours drive away. The other thing that I'll highlight specifically about our location is our proximity to the mountains. So if there's students who are interested in that true Canadian experience and they would like to see the Rocky Mountains and perhaps maybe go skiing or snowboarding, we are only about a 2.5 hour drive from beautiful mountains, and the students are able to be fully immersed in that experience with a short drive if that's something that they're interested in. Just to give a few more pieces of information about our city, we have a population of approximately 100,000 individuals in our city, and that makes us the fourth largest city in Alberta. So we are quite diverse, welcoming citizens from more than 40 countries in our city, and we have approximately 112 languages spoken. We're very focused in our city on natural beauty and being able to enjoy the great outdoors right within our city. So we have 110 kilometers of trails right within our city. So as you can see from the photo on the top of the screen, we have a lot of green space, a lot of wide open spaces and ability to enjoy the environment that they are in. To give a little bit more information about Red Deer generally, we have one of the fastest growing economies in North America, and we're consistently ranked as the prime location for doing business. Our economy is based in the oil gas industry, and also we have strong industry in agriculture, manufacturing, tourism, petrochemicals, and transportation. So to introduce the city a little bit more, I have a video that I will show you in a few slides. Before we get to that, just to highlight a few of the amenities that Red Deer has to offer. Although we are a little bit of a smaller city, we still have a large regional hospital, a public transit system, so the students are able to buy an inexpensive bus pass and get around the city easily. We also have a mall with over 120 stores and museums and libraries. So the mall is a great option for students who are interested in gaining part-time employment while they're here studying in Canada. That gives them some options there. And as I mentioned before, we have a lot of opportunities for enjoying the great outdoors in Canada. If students are interested in doing some golfing or some skiing, some other Canadian sports, they're able to do that right within the city. They don't have to travel anywhere to take advantage of those sorts of activities. As I mentioned, I have a brief video called We Are Red Deer. It is prepared by the city of Red Deer, and it just introduces you to the lifestyle that we enjoy here and what it's like to be a part of our city. I hope you enjoy.
When you're nearby
hope you enjoyed that short video to give you a little bit of a preview of our city. So once again, I know that you all are interested to hear about programs, so we're going to switch gears once again and talk about some more specifics. We're going to talk about a handful of the programs that we offer at Red Deer College. So we will be following up with everyone who's attended this webinar with an email on Monday, and we'll provide some links, one of which will be to our agent guide. I would encourage all of you to have a look through this document. I will be highlighting a handful of programs today during the presentation, but there are many more that will be featured in our agent guide that are also open to international applicants. So to start off with, for our programs, again, I just wanted to highlight that when you go onto our website, rdc.ab.ca, you will see several programs listed. I would invite you to please visit the international section of the website and also to note the programs that are highlighted in the agent guide. These are the programs that have the greatest number of seats available for international students and the programs that we would like MSM and our agent partners to focus on recruitment for. These programs have the greatest chance that the international students will be able to secure admission into. So if there is a program that a student would like to apply to, it's on our website, but it's not listed in the international section, they are able to still apply. I would just invite you to please send us an email and double check on the program and seat availability before submitting an application. Just to highlight the different options that we give our students when they're starting out at Red Deer College. So we really like to focus on flexibility and allowing the students to decide where and when they want to enter the workforce with their credential. So when they start in an RDC program, they can graduate with a credential and go directly into a career, start working right away. We also offer options for students to go into university transfer programs. So in this format, the student would take 2 years at Red Deer College, and then they would transfer to a university, whether it be in Alberta or Canada, to complete their full bachelor's degree. And then once they were done their full 4 years, they would start a career. One reason why students might consider doing 2 years at a smaller institution like RDC before transferring to a larger institution includes the ability to take advantage of the smaller class sizes that RDC has to mention, a little bit more hands-on support, an ability to connect with instructors better, and often students find that they're able to get a great GPA within their first 2 years before transferring into the larger university environment. We'll talk a little bit more about university transfer in a few moments. Without further ado, I'd like to introduce you to a handful of the programs that I think will be of most interest to you. Here I have the Business Administration Diploma. This is a 2-year diploma. We're looking for a 5.5 on each band IELTS score. And we are proud to say that this program, of course, with all of our 2-year programs, will allow students to apply for their 3-year postgraduate work permit. This program prepares students for a wide range of careers, and that can be in public business or in private business. And students will also be able to choose a major. So this is a great feature of our program. The students will be learning about general business during the first year. And when they go into the second year, they're able to select a major. They have 5 options that includes accounting, financial services, general management, human resources, and marketing. And by choosing a major, the student is able to specify their skills a little bit more, and often that can give them the upper edge when they're going to apply for positions after graduating. I've identified a handful of careers on the slide that the student might be able to apply for after graduating. But the best thing about the Business Administration Diploma is it allows students to go anywhere. They can take this credential and do a wide range of careers after graduating. This is one of the programs that is delivered through the Donald School of Business at our downtown campus. We also focus on hiring instructors that are very familiar with industry. So these are individuals that know business because they've worked in the sectors that they're teaching. That's very important when we hire our faculty. Next, I'd like to introduce you to our 2-year diploma for becoming a legal assistant. This is for students who are interested in working alongside lawyers. This is a great position or a great program because it allows students to go directly into a very targeted market. So after students are graduating from the legal assistant program, they know that they can start applying for jobs working in a law firm. Also, one thing that we offer students through this program is a practicum. So before the students are graduating, they will actually have had an opportunity to gain some work experience through this program. And the college takes care of making those arrangements for them to complete their practicum through the program. This is a great program, and we're looking for a 5.5 on each band for an IELTS score for this program. Next, I'd like to introduce you to our Early Learning and Childcare program. We offer both a 2-year diploma and a 1-year certificate in this program. So this is a fantastic program. It's already very popular with the international students we already have. It's great for individuals who are interested with working with children, broadening their knowledge of education and early childhood development. Students will be able to work in a career working with students or with children. They'll be gaining an appreciation and an understanding for the professional role and how they impact families and communities. Examples of careers that students could go into after the Early Learning and Childcare program include early childhood educators, childcare supervisors, and a family and a day home provider. Next, just to highlight the certificate. So this is an example of the way that Red Deer College strives to give our students as much flexibility and options as possible. So all students interested in this program enter into the Early Learning and Childcare certificate. After the first year is done, the student gets to choose if they would like to exit, gain their certificate, and enter into the workforce. Or if the student is interested in a full 2-year credential, they continue on for a second year and complete the full diploma. So the student gets to choose whether they'd like to graduate with a certificate after 1 year or if they'd like to complete the full 2 years. Often we find that students are interested in completing the full 2 years because it allows them to apply for their 3-year work permit. If students choose to graduate after 1 year with their certificate, they're still able to get great employment, and that would include working in a daycare or a family day home. And of course, as with a lot of our programs, for both the certificate and the diploma, we offer students a practicum component, so they will be able to get hands-on job experience before they're graduating with their credential. Okay, so next I'd like to tell you a little bit about a couple of our programs that we have that are perfect for students who are interested in sciences, maths, and technology. We have 2 electrical engineering technology programs. We have our electrical engineering technology and our mechanical engineering technology. Just to start off with, for our electrical engineering technology program, students who graduate from this program will have the knowledge and skills to develop, implement, and maintain a broad spectrum of electrical systems, and they'll understand the deployment and the delivery of power along with the control of electrical, mechanical machines. So again, perfect for students who love to have hands-on learning, that are strong in the maths and the sciences. The photo that you see on the screen is an actual RDC instructor working in a lab with students in this program. So the students will be learning in the classroom, but they will have an opportunity to spend lots of time in the labs and learning in a hands-on environment the skills that they are being taught in the classroom. Mechanical engineering is another similar program, great for students who excel in math and sciences and are interested in technology. Students in this program will use hands-on and theoretical approaches to learn engineering technology fundamentals. So these students will be in an industry-focused topics, and they're going to be learning about things such as automation, control, computer integrated manufacturing, and reliability. So moving forward in today's environment, we know that these skills are going to be becoming increasingly important. The student graduating from the mechanical engineering technology program would be able to become a mechanical engineering technologist, design technologist. There would be opportunities for them to work in manufacturing or even in robotics. So another great program. As I mentioned, I just wanted to highlight once again the options available to students who are interested in university transfer programs. I'm sure that a lot of you are familiar with this model, but how it works is the students would apply into the Red Deer College Bachelor of Arts or Bachelor of Science University Transfer Program, and they would complete 2 years with us, and then they would plan to either graduate and go into the workforce, or more often in university transfer programs, students are interested in going to another university in Canada or even somewhere in Alberta to complete their full bachelor's degree. So what we offer students in this program is something a bit unique. We actually give students a diploma before they transfer to their university to complete the final 2 years of their bachelor's degree. So if a student is in a Bachelor of Arts university transfer program, as long as they complete 20 courses with us or 60 credits, we actually give them a diploma. It's called the RDC's Diploma in University Transfer Studies. That allows them to leave with a credential and actually convocate with RDC before moving on to the next step of their education. Okay, quickly before we get into the final phase of the presentation, of course, we'll have time for questions at the end, but just to give some basic information about RDC's admissions. As you will well know, our international students are required to meet two aspects in order to be admitted into a program. That includes the English language proficiency requirements and the academic program requirements. And I just wanted to highlight that this information about what we require from students for English language proficiency and for the academic program requirements are all specified in the agent agreement. And I hope that you'll have some time to look through that document when it's emailed to you on Monday. To highlight, our programs do have differing requirements. So what I mean by that is all of our programs don't necessarily have the same requirements to get into. So each program needs to be looked at specifically when a student is applying to make sure that they meet those requirements. We don't necessarily require a high school diploma in order for a student to be admitted into our programs. Rather, we look at the specific coursework that they've completed through their high school to determine if they meet the requirements to get into a program. Knowing a couple of the MSM regions, I would just like to highlight the countries that we consider English as an official language. That includes Ghana, Kenya, and Rwanda. Talking a little bit more about English language proficiency here, of course, English, for our students who English is not a first language, they need to demonstrate this capability before being admitted into our programs. One way they can do that is by presenting a score from an English language test, which are listed there above. Also, if the student has completed 3 years of full-time education in English in an institution where English language is the official language of instruction, that would be sufficient in order to demonstrate their English language proficiency. We would accept that from countries, as I mentioned, such as Ghana, Kenya, and Rwanda. Also, if the student has completed English language arts 30-1 or equivalent, that is another way that the student can demonstrate English language proficiency. We do have special provisions related to COVID and English language proficiency, which I'll talk about in a few moments. Okay, so to quickly go through the application process, if a student would like to apply to Red Deer College, we would ask that you assist them in completing the Red Deer College International Student Application for MSM agents and email it along with the supporting documents to the email address listed on the screen. An RDC MSM representative will review that information and submit it via an online portal, and it'll come to our team at RDC for review. If the applicant meets the English language proficiency requirements and the academic requirements, and there's a seat available in their program of choice, we will give them an acceptance letter, or what we call an embassy letter. That way the student can right away start the process to apply for their study permit and pay their tuition deposit. Students must also submit official documentation eventually once they come to us at RDC, and that includes study permits and official transcripts. Just to quickly highlight the ways that the students can provide their official transcripts, two of the most popular methods are for students to bring the transcripts with them when they come to RDC, and as long as they're in a sealed envelope directly from the institution, we are happy to accept that method. Alternatively, the student is able to provide us information so we can log on to the online portal provided through their school to verify their transcripts electronically. Quickly, just to review the process of becoming an RDC authorized agent, I hope that many of you that are here today are interested in working with us and would like to submit an application to become an RDC authorized agent. When we email you on Monday, we are going to send you all the application, and I'd invite you to complete it and submit it along with the required documentation to the email address listed above. After we complete a review of your application and reference checks, if all the requirements are met, we will issue you an authorized agent agreement. After that, we will of course give you the documentation that you need to begin submitting student applications. Lastly, before we get into the final phase of the presentation and start accepting some questions, I wanted to highlight very quickly a few of the measures that RDC has implemented to help our students overcome the challenges presented by COVID-19 disruptions. First off, I'd like to identify that we are accepting the Duolingo English test as a way for students to demonstrate their English language proficiency. So we recognize for students it's very difficult right now. They're not able to go to IELTS testing facilities or do other English language testing facilities that are required to go there in person. So in place of that, we will be accepting the Duolingo English test, and we're happy to do so. And also, if students are struggling with receiving their high school transcripts, perhaps their finals have been canceled because of COVID, we are encouraging students to apply with the information that they have available, and we're trying to be as flexible as possible in helping them overcome the challenges presented in getting their transcripts. So of course, we encourage those students to reach out to their institutions to determine when their grades will be released. But in the meantime, we do encourage students to pursue an application with Red Deer College. These are just two of the FAQs that I've highlighted on the screen, but we do have a full document available on our website. It is called RDC COVID-19 International Admissions FAQs. And I invite you to find that on our website. We'll also include a link through the email on Monday and review the full list of FAQs. So this is the final slide for my formal presentation before we get into the question period. I'd like to once again thank you for your attention. Thank you for being with us here today. We have a video here that has been prepared by our president, Dr. Nunoda, to welcome international students to Red Deer College. I hope that this is a good introduction to our institution. This video just highlights how excited we are to welcome more international students on campus. After this, we're going to get into the question period. So without further ado, I hope you enjoy our last video.
Hello, I'm Dr. Peter Nunoda, and I'm president at Red Deer College. I'd like to welcome you to Canada and especially RDC. We are so excited that you've decided to come to Red Deer and learn with us. We have a great international students team here to help you along your educational journey. Our dynamic campuses and comfortable residents will make you feel right at home. Your classmates and instructors are here to help you succeed, so welcome. We're so happy to have you here studying with us at Red Deer College.
All right, so Karishma is going to come back online and we're going to address some of the questions that you have all asked us through the Q&A function.
Okay, thank you, Shelby. Just a quick reminder to all the participants that please be sure to type your questions into the Q&A section in your control panel. So Shelby, we are having a very good question. So coming to the first question, Shelby, how is the part-time employability available in RDC College?
Right. So of course, circumstances are a bit strange right now with COVID, but typically there are employment opportunities for students to pursue both on campus and in the community. So if the student is interested in working on campus, they're able to look for employment at some of the restaurants that we have on campus. And there are a handful of opportunities for the students to work either for the Students Association or directly for Red Deer College. Of course, there are also opportunities for the students to apply for part-time jobs. We have quite a large mall and lots of restaurants and food services in the community that are often looking for part-time workers.
Thank you, Shelby. Moving to the next question. What is the procedure to represent Red Deer College in the agent city? Like the agent is, I believe, from Africa in their city.
Great. Yeah, we would love to have some strong agents come and work with us out of the Africa regions. Absolutely. So please watch your email inbox. We're going to be sending an email out on Monday. And in that email, there will be a RDC authorized agent application. So once you complete that application, we will be reviewing it, me and my MSM colleagues. And after the review is complete, we'll be issuing formal agent agreements to certified agents. And we hope to see lots of applications from our attendees here at the webinar.
Thank you. Coming to the next question, is the English language required for Nigerian application? Also, how many days does it take for an offer letter to be issued?
Sure. So to answer the first question, Nigeria is not listed on our language of, on our list of countries that are recognized as English as an official language. So the students from that country will be required to complete an English language proficiency test. Specifically, we are accepting the Duolingo test to help us overcome the challenges created by COVID-19. Can you remind me, Karishma, what was the second part of the question?
The second part is, how many days does it take to issue the offer letter?
Right, thank you. So typically, if a student is applying and they have all of the correct documentation, we should be able to get an offer letter out if there's a seat available in the program within a week or approximately 7 business days.
Okay, thank you. Coming to the next question, what is the fee structure of diploma programs?
So the fee structure is on a credit by credit basis, and the students are required to pay tuition only for the term that they are registered in. So I'd encourage you to have a look specifically at our agent guide. It gives full pricing for the entire program. So for example, it provides the full price of the business program. And how it works is the student registers. So for example, if they start in the fall term, they pay their tuition deposit, which is $1,400. And then after that, they're eligible to register in courses, and they pay for the tuition specifically for the courses they've registered in for that term.
Okay. The next question is regarding SDS. The person is asking that RDC only accept just 6 months tuition fee in any case. So how can any student be eligible for SDS category in case of 6 months fee paid?
Yeah, we understand that that's been a challenge with our international applicants, and we're in the process right now of coming up with a way that students are able to pay for a full year's tuition, but it's not been launched yet. So I'd ask our partners to be patient with us. We'll be letting our MSM network and all of our agents know as soon as we have the availability for students to pay for a full year in order to take advantage of the SDS stream.
Okay, thank you. Coming to the next question, what facilities are being offered in the student housing facility?
Sure. So depending on the type of suite that the student is interested in living in, they can live in a space where they would have their own bedroom, and they would share a bathroom, kitchen, and living space with 3 other students. So we would have 4 students in a house. Or the student could choose to have their own suite where they would have almost a small apartment that would include a bedroom, their own bathroom, their own cooking space, all in a contained suite. So we do not have a meal plan on campus. So the students are able to have a lower cost for their rent because we do accept that students like to buy their own food and cook their own food. So that is the model that we use. There is often, there's ways that students can come and eat at restaurants on campus, but other than that, the cooking facilities are right in the students' suites.
Right. Shelby, the next question is about the application fee. How much is the application fee for RDC?
RDC's application fee is $200.
Okay, and the next question is about the entrance scholarship. Is the entrance scholarship guaranteed at RDC?
So there are no entrance scholarships at this time for international students. There's that they can apply for before they're students. Once an international student becomes an RDC student, there's several scholarships that they can apply for. That being said, we are considering if scholarships may help our students overcome financial challenges created by COVID-19. So if we do make the decision to offer any sort of financial incentives for students, we'll be sharing that information with our agent network at a later time. But at this time, there are no entrance scholarships.
Thank you, Shelby. The next question is, do we accept 10+3 education diploma program for diploma programs?
Karishma, can you help me understand that question a bit better? I'm not understanding.
Okay, it's the person want to ask is any person who has done the graduation, 10+3 education or the 10+3 education. Would that be eligible for the diploma program? Yes,
it would depend on which diploma program. So we would have a look specifically at the coursework that the student had done during their education to see if they met the requirements, but it's definitely a possibility.
Okay, thank you. So the next question is about the requirement for ECE program. Would you like to elaborate the requirements for ECE program?
For the early learning and childcare program?
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Just give me one moment. I'm going to bring up the information. So for the early learning and childcare program, we would be looking to see that the student has completed an international equivalent of an English language course and had received a minimum grade of 50% in that course. As long as the student has completed that requirement and they're also able to meet the IELTS score, which is 6.5 overall score with 5.5 on each band, we would be able to admit them into the early learning and childcare program. Just to clarify, when I was speaking about the two programs earlier, all students apply into the early learning and childcare certificate. If they're interested in completing the full diploma, they're able to state that on their application, and we will make sure that that's indicated on their letter of acceptance.
Thank you, Shelby. The next question is, will RDC accept the new IELTS indicator test to accept student that passes the exam online?
At this time, we're only accepting the only additional test we're accepting is the Duolingo test. We would consider potentially accepting the IELTS test when we have more time to do research on the online component, but at this time, we're asking students to complete the Duolingo online test.
Okay, thank you. Coming to the next question, what is the minimum age criteria to apply at RDC?
Often we're looking for students who are over 18 to apply, but there's no maximum age limit. Students who are applying that are under 18 are welcome to do so, but RDC does not provide guardianship or any sort of additional support to those students. So sometimes it's challenging for those individuals to get approved for their study permits. But as long as the student is over 18, they're welcome to apply, and there's no upper age limit.
Okay. The next question is, do RDC provide online courses? And if yes, then what those courses are?
Absolutely. So right now, in fact, all of our students are being offered online options, of course, in light of COVID. So if the situation is that we're still focusing on online delivery for the fall, all of our programs will be issued online. And even so, the students who are currently in other countries and might be interested in starting their international education, we would be happy to work with that student to come up with a plan for them to start in an online fashion, even part-time in their home country, to get started, and then perhaps join us during the winter term when they're able to come and join us for in-person delivery. But we have a lot of options for online delivery. So we would encourage individuals who are interested in starting with us to look for ways to do that, even if they aren't able to come and start with us on campus right in the fall. We will be providing some information to everyone about some potential program plans that would allow students to start part-time, but also still have enough remaining courses that they can complete 2 full years on campus and still be eligible for their postgraduate work permit.
Okay, thank you, Shelby. Coming to the next question. For university transfer programs, with which university do RDC have collaboration?
So we have connections with the University of Alberta, University of Calgary, and University of Lethbridge. However, the students are required to apply to those programs directly. So we do not guarantee them admission into the other programs. So when the student is entering into a university transfer program, we would work with them between the student and the advisor to make sure they're registering in courses that would maximize their ability to transfer into their ultimate program that they're interested in at one of the other institutions. So it's important for the student to take ownership of understanding what those requirements are initially when they start.
Okay, thank you, Shelby. Coming to the next question, it's very interesting. Will IELTS be waived off for students transferring from a Canadian college after completion of first year of education?
Let me have a look at my information really quickly. So the student, it depends how much education they've completed at another college. It's definitely a possibility. What I might ask is that I am able to take that question back to my admissions team and respond back. But if the student has taken a sufficient amount of time at a Canadian institution, yes, that's absolutely a way that they can demonstrate their English language proficiency.
Okay. The next question is math required for business and university transfer programs?
The university transfer programs it depends on which university transfer program, but for some of them math is required. And yes, math is required for the business administration diploma.
Okay. The next question, I believe it is from some student. He's graduated from Bachelor's of Physiotherapy and processes a 10 years of education gap filled with experience. So can he apply in RDC with such a large gap?
Yes, he can. We do not have a limit on study gap, so we value the experience that students have not only from their education, but also from their work experience. So we encourage students who are maybe a little bit older or have education gaps to still continue to apply.
He's in the continuity of this question, he's also want to know what are the chances of rejection with this large.
Right. The large gap doesn't actually come into play at all. So as long as the student is able to meet the requirements for the program academically and able to meet English language proficiency, they will have the same chance as any other student to get into the program.
Okay. The next question is about the present number of South Asian or especially Indian students at RDC.
Yeah, sure. So as I mentioned, we have approximately 200 international students currently, and out of that 200, we have approximately 17% of them coming from India. So the other highest number of the biggest receiving countries is we receive a lot of students from the Philippines. Approximately 26% of our international students are from the Philippines. 6% of our students are coming to us from Nigeria, and 7% of our international students are coming to us from Kenya. So right now we have quite small numbers of international students, which some students actually enjoy because they really feel that they get a true Canadian education experience, because in their classrooms a lot of the time they're with mostly domestic students.
Okay. The next question is again about English proficiency test. If the student is from England, do still he required to provide the English proficiency proof?
So if the student is from England and they have completed education while they were in England in English, no, they would not have to do that. As long as that was captured on their transcripts, they wouldn't have to do any additional testing for English language proficiency.
Okay, thank you, Shelby. What is the average tuition fee for diploma programs?
Sure. So like I said, it does depend on the program, but let me quickly go to my information. The average cost for a diploma program could go anywhere between $25,000 and $35,000.
Okay, thank you, Shelby. Coming to the next question, what is the minimum percentage required for diploma programs? Would you like to say something about it?
Sure. So in our agent guide, you'll see that there are specific requirements for each specific program, but just to give a couple of examples of what we might be looking at. So if a student's interested in the business administration diploma, we would be looking to see if the student had received a grade of over 50% in an English language course or the international equivalency for that. We would also be looking to see that they've received a grade of over 50 in math. So that's one example of what we might be looking for. Just to give another example, early learning and childcare, again, we'd be looking to see if the student had received a grade of over 50% in the international equivalency of English language, and to make sure that they have met that minimum requirement. So on our website and in the links that we will send out to everyone, we have up and available international course equivalencies. So you can look and see whatever the academic requirement we are asking for, what the international equivalency is. So for example, for English language arts 30-1, when we ask for that equivalency for students from India, we're looking for English from a CBSE or a letter on an institutional letterhead stating that the program was an English medium or English language instruction. So it has all that type of information up on our website, so the agents and students can see what the international equivalencies are.
Okay, thank you, Shelby, for such a detailed information. The next question is about the partner institutions, like which are the partner institutions of RDC?
So right now we have we're starting to launch one public-private partnership with Sterling College in Vancouver. We also have a handful of what we call university collaboration programs. So that's programs where the students are able to complete the full program at Red Deer College, but they're actually considered a university student for the last 2 years. So for example, we have a program in collaboration with the University of Alberta, and we have a program in collaboration with the University of Calgary. And when the student is completing their program at RDC, they're able to often transfer courses if they're interested in going to a different institution in the province.
Okay. Coming to the next question, can RDC offer conditional offer letter to students at this current time?
Yep. So focusing our attention on actually getting students fully into their program. So rather than offering conditional admission letters, what we're doing is we're accepting alternative ways for them to demonstrate their English language proficiency, like the Duolingo test. And it's really our priority to get students their full acceptance letter and the letter that they need to pursue their study permit. So at this time, no, we're not offering conditional acceptance letters. We are really focusing on getting students fully admitted into their programs.
Okay, thank you, Shelby. The next question is, do international students have any extra benefit in PR after studying in RDC, like under RNIP, PNP, and Atlantic Pilot Immigration Program?
Not at this time. So it would depend on the field that the student was graduating from to depend on if it would allow them extra points in their permanent residency applications. But because we are a public institution and we have a DLI number, all students who are graduating from our programs are eligible to apply for the postgraduate work permit. So as long as they're completing at least 8 months, so even if they're taking a 1-year certificate, they still are able to apply for a 1-year postgraduate work permit. And also if they're taking a 2-year program, a 2-year diploma, they're able to apply for a 3-year postgraduate work permit.
Okay. The next question is, do you have any courses which include paid internships?
Sure. So all of our internships are unpaid. So it is important for the students to get this experience. The college, RDC, takes care of making all of the arrangements in order for the students to get the practicums. However, what we do find is it goes a long way in getting student employment after they're done graduating. And in fact, we've heard many stories of students who've had such a great experience through their unpaid internship with the employer that sometimes they're even offered a paid position after the fact if they make a good impression.
Okay, thank you, Shelby. The next question is the number of backlogs accepted for admission. We can accept 6 backlog if the student has done the graduation, and if the student is applying after the post-graduation or a 4-year program, then we can accept up to 8 backlogs. So next question for you, Shelby. How many intakes are there for international students?
Sure. So right now we have several intakes available, including fall intake, winter intake, spring and summer intake. So depending on the program, that will make a difference into the program intakes. However, with that being said, we are working right now to make more programs available to start in the winter terms and spring and summer terms, opposed to just the fall, to help students who might be a bit delayed due to COVID-19. So I invite you to have a look at our agent guide. There it demonstrates the current program intakes available, and as more come online, we'll email that out to our agent network.
Okay, thank you, Shelby. The next question is, can student pay tuition fee in installments?
So sort of. So how it works is the student is able to pay for their tuition on a term-by-term basis. So essentially it is in installments. If the student is starting in the fall term, for example, they will pay the tuition for the courses they're taking in the fall term, and then they won't have to pay the tuition for the courses they're taking in the winter term until that term actually begins. So essentially in a 4-year program, the student could make 4 payments to pay for their tuition, 1 for each term.
Okay, the next question is again related to the tuition fee payment. Do RDC accepting Flywire or CIBC for tuition payments, or there's a possibility of direct bank transfer?
At this time, no, but we are currently working to get a payment platform set up, and we expect to have that launched this summer. So again, something that all of you in our network can look forward to hearing about. At this time, the students are able to pay either by credit card or by bank wire transfer. However, we know that having more options for payment is important for our international students, and we're working hard to get another solution online for them.
Okay. The next question is about airport pickup. Do RDC offer airport pickup services?
At this time, I'm not able to confirm if we're able to do airport pickup services at this time. It's something we're still working on the logistics of, so I don't want to commit. However, it's something we're interested in arranging for students. If we are unable to receive the student, we will be providing them with a lot of information so they're able to arrange for their own transportation. The student would be able to purchase a bus ticket to easily get from Calgary or Edmonton to Red Deer, and we'll be providing them with a lot of support through that process, even if we are not able to pick them up at the airport. So it's something that my team and I are still currently working on.
Okay, shall we come to the next question? Do the programs are co-op integrated?
So we call the work experience component in our programs a practicum. So it's not a co-op in the sense of it's a little bit shorter in length. Typically, the practicum component in the program is only a few weeks, up to 6 weeks long. So the students are still required to get their co-op work permit along with their study permit. However, the periods that they're in the workplace are a little bit shorter.
Okay, thank you, Shelby. And it's great that we are still getting a lot of questions, but our time is limited and we may not be able to answer all the questions in this webinar. But dear agents, don't worry, we are having your email addresses and we will respond to your questions after the webinar. Shelby, is there anything you would like to add before we wrap up?
Sure, Karishma, thank you. I would just like to once again thank everybody for your time and your attention today during our webinar. We're so looking forward to being able to come into your countries and to meet you all in person. But of course, in the meantime, these virtual connections will have to do. So I'd like to thank everyone who attended, and also a big thank you to all of the MSM team members who did an amazing job facilitating and hosting and organizing this presentation. So I'm looking forward to receiving agent applications from a lot of you and continuing to connect into the future.
Wonderful. Thank you all valuable agents and friends who participated in this exclusive MSM and RDC Launch eSummit. We appreciate you being here. We hope this session was helpful and informative enough for everyone. Again, we will be sending you all the important details after this session. Until the next one, please take care, stay safe and healthy.